What's going on, everybody? Jade up here. In today's video, we're going to be discussing what sets you need to have on standby as a tank um, for trials. So we're going to be talking about what sets you need to have, and these sets they're only going to be about 4, and then we have some honorary mentions that are used in certain situations when you're trying to do certain things, which I'll talk about, and I'll talk about where you would use them and how you would use them. We'll also be going over about 4 to 5 different monster sets, and we'll be going over the traits and for the jewelry and the armor and the weapons. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the monster sets. As far as monster sets go, Lord Warden is probably pretty close to your number one set that you would run. Fantastic set. Basically, the one piece gives you physical and spell resistance. The second piece spawns an orb. When you take damage, you got a 50% chance to spawn this orb. That's about 8 meters wide. That boosts everyone's physical and spell resistance by almost 4k. It's 3870, and it lasts for about 10 seconds. Now, the way to read this is simply like this. You have a 50% chance to summon a shadow orb for 10 seconds, right? Now this can occur once every 10 seconds. So basically what that means is as soon as it procs, it immediately starts doing a countdown for when it can proc again. So if it said something like 50% chance to summon a shadow for 10 seconds, and then it says this effect can occur once every 15 seconds, basically it would mean if it could proc again, it would be in another 5 seconds. So basically, you're going to take this effect can occur every 10 seconds. You would take that time minus how long it's procced for, and that's how you figure out what the downtime is actually. So if it was 15 seconds, it occur once every 15 seconds, but it only lasts for 10 seconds. 15 minus 10, you'd be 5 seconds, so it would have a downtime of 5 seconds at the very least. What I do like on traits for monster sets, I do like heavy helm and infused, and then a medium shoulder and sturdy and well fitted. If you can get both of them in well fitted, or one in sturdy, one in well fitted, as medium traits on your helm, on your shoulder, that's probably ideal for me. But if you have all heavy, that is fine as well. The traits that you want to kind of look out for armor is going to be infused, divines, sturdy, well fitted. That's usually about it. Those are the only 4 that are really super great. I have reinforced because I just now getting geodes to transform this into infused. So as soon as I get the 30-day, I will transform this into infused. But for now, that's what I have reinforced. I don't feel like farming ICP as well, so I just kept it how it was. And that goes for all armor. So infused, sturdy, well fitted, divines. I put sturdy on the lower pieces. The smaller pieces, your small pieces right here. Your boots, waist, gloves, shoulders, and your heavy pieces are helm, chest, and legs. Your big pieces, you would like to have them infused so you get a little bit more stats if you're an Argonian or whatever. And then everything else in sturdy. If you're going to be blocking a lot, I do have a main tank positioning guide on Voss hard mode, which is Asylum hard mode. And I dodge roll a lot, and then so that's where I put these into well fitted. And that helped out a lot. It helped out a lot. Okay, and the next monster set we're going to be talking about, Earthgore. A lot of people already know what this does. This basically sends down a blood from above you, or whoever it's procced on, to heal them for 36,000 health over 6 seconds. This effect can occur once every 35 seconds. So you're looking at this spawning quite, pretty frequently as long as you're under 50% health, but the downtime on it is just super, super long, so it's not something I would truly rely on. But if this does proc, it is definitely healing you quite a bit, no matter how much damage you're taking. In PvP, it's a little bit different. PvE, it's not. It's if you're taking a lot of damage in PvE and you're holding block, and this Earthgore procs, you're pretty much going to go all the way back up to full health. Again, helm, heavy infuse, and shoulder if you can. Sturdy or well fitted. Either one of those. If you haven't divines, it's fine as well. The other monster set we're going to be looking at is Bloodspawn. A lot of people know what Bloodspawn is. Basically has 1 piece stam recovery, which is, kind of nice when you're heavy attacking and not really holding block. But if you're holding block, you will not get stam back. So that's kind of nice. But the 2-piece set, when you take damage, you have a 6% chance to generate 14 ultimate and increase your physical and spell resistance by 6,000 or 6 seconds. This effect can occur once every 6 seconds. So, again, 6 minus 6 is 0, so it basically has no downtime except for the 6% chance when you're taking damage. So if you're taking a lot of damage, it kind of increases your chance on getting that to prod. So kind of basically like a dot or something like that, or dots or something like that. If you're standing in fire, basically every second you're going to be taking damage. So it is nice when it procs. Some honorary mentions, Mighty Chudan. If you're new to tanking or something like that, I kind of suggest Chudan to kind of get you used to proccing that hardened armor and or balance, whatever you're using. This monster set gives you a way to not have to worry about it too much and not have to keep the uptime on it. I don't really suggest this helmet too much. When you first start tanking, I kind of do like, hey, put it on. That way you have a little bit higher resistance. As you can see to the left, with the green, we're at 32,000 and 28,000. That's what our stats is going to look like. So we're going to put that on. So we put both of them on, and now we got the both proc of the 5,000. So now we're at 34,000 and 30,000. Now, when I activate balance, it is not going to increase my physical or spell resistance because it gives us from here. But this gives you a little bit of time if you're sitting here trying to learn and you're holding block and stuff like that, you're trying to position ads and not trying to worry about hitting hard armor and stuff like that. It gives you kind of like a way to kind of have that major resolve in ward without having to proc it and not have to worry about it just yet. So I mean, it is kind of nice to have it. First starting out, if you can get it. If you can't, don't worry about it. Another set that I would suggest, or that another honorary mention, is Vykosa's. And the only time I've ever used this set is in our IR runs. We were going for IR, which is Immortal Redeemer, in Asylum, Veteran Asylum hard mode. It's a speed run, no death, hard mode. Wait, did I say that? Speed run, no death, hard mode, right? And so basically, I would taunt the enemy and bash him, and then that would give him. It would apply major maim to him. So when he jumped and somebody was still underneath him, they wouldn't take that much damage. It would give him enough time to get out of the way. So that's the only time I've ever used this set. I haven't used it on anything else. Downtime on it is 15 seconds, and it only lasts 3 seconds. So the downtime is really 12 seconds, give or take. But I mean, it's just not a good set. I mean, the major main one lasts 3 seconds. It's not long enough to do anything. It's really only good for like one hit. So that's why it's kind of like an honorary mention on only one part. And that's pretty much all. Oh, actually, you know what? Another good set, if you can get it. Engine Guardian is a really good set. A lot of people don't like it for whatever reason, but it is a really nice set. You get some health recovery, which is whatever. It doesn't mean nothing in PvE. But you have a 10%. Whenever you use an ability, you got a 10% chance to summon a Dwemer, which is a Dwemer sphere. Pops up and it restores health, stamina, or magicka one at a time. And it'll feed you with one of those every 0.5 seconds for 6.5 seconds. Now, it is, I know it says 10%, but it still is a pretty low shot to get that to work. I kind of wish that they would hire it to like 20% or something like that, because there's been times that I've just sat there and spam Igneous or something like that to get it to proc, and it just never procs. So I mean, it's a really low percentage, but you know, whatever. But those are the monster sets I kind of suggest for a lot of you guys. The main ones being Lord of Warden, Earthgore, Bloodspawn. The other ones were just honorary mentions. So we're gonna get right into the sets. The first set we're gonna be looking at is Torug's Pact. Craftable set. Crafted it in Grahtwood, crafted in Stormhaven, Deshaan. You can make it light, medium, or heavy. And you only need three traits to make this armor. And then, of course, the three traits I would suggest would be infused, sturdy, and well fitted. So you can just quickly make this set. Super, super easy. Doesn't take that long at all to make it as well. But we do have this set. Now we're looking at the 5-piece set. Decrease weapon enchant cooldown and increase the potency by 30%. Now we're going to look at this right quick. We're at 2740 for the Crusher enchant. We're going to take this off. And now we're at 2108. So you can see a huge difference, a huge drop in that physical and spell resistance. That's why a lot of people are using Torags. I've been using Torags for probably 2.5, 3 years now, give or take. And we've been using it for a hot minute. It's always been, it actually used to be better than what it is now. But anyways, Torug's Pact is still a pretty good set. Alkosh is obviously the next set that we're going to be talking about. Basically, when you're looking at tank sets, you're always looking at the 5-piece set. You don't really care about the 4-piece, the 3-piece, or the 2-piece set too much. You really, really look at the 5-piece set and look at it, what it really does. So like this one really is nice because it increases the potency by 30%. That's still pretty good. I think it used to be like 50%. They lowered it to 30. Anyways, so our second set is Alkosh, and this set comes from all of Lorkhaj. It comes in weapons, jewelry, and it comes in armor. The armor pieces are going to be medium, so you really want them as the jewelry and armor pieces. Or excuse me, jewelry and weapon pieces. So the 4-piece and down, it's not really for us. Doesn't really do anything for us. But the 5th-piece set, the one you want to look for is the very last sentence. Reduce the physical and spell resistance of an enemy hit by 3,000 for 10 seconds. Now, that's a pretty big decrease. Now we're just looking at just Torug's with the Crusher enchant being at 2740, and then the reduce the physical and spell resistance by 3,000. Right there alone, you're already at 57. 50 for resistance, and that's not even counting the 5k you get from physical or from puncture and minor toughness, or excuse, not minor toughness, but minor fracture and stuff like that from Templars and stuff. So let alone we're already reducing the enemy's physical and spell resistance by 5k, let alone just by ourselves we're really reducing it by almost 6k. And if you add on top of Pierce Armor, that's like 10 or 11k, if not 12k. I'm not really paying attention to it, but you just basically add it up. Add whatever puncture gives, it's like 5k, and then you add this 5k. That's obviously 10k plus. You're going to be getting reduced on your own. just as a tank by wearing these two sets. That's why a lot of people say, you know, do you have Torugs or Alkosh? Or do you have Torugs and Alkosh? Or what sets do you have? Wear these sets. That's why, you know, this works, because these help the group out a lot. It lowers the resistance so they can take more damage. Lowers the boss's resistance so the DPS can do more damage. As far as traits on weapons, always infused. If you have decisive or something like that, and you just don't have geodes or whatever, just use whatever you got, and then when you have enough, you know, pop infused on them. That way you have more a better enchant on your bars. The next set we're going to be talking about is Ebon. I type this in. So our next set we're going to be looking at is Ebon. This comes from Crypt of Hearts 1 and 2. You can farm it on vet or normal. If you need the jewelry, farm it on Crypt of Hearts 1, the first boss. Just go in there with your group, whatever. Excuse me, farm the first boss, reset the dungeon. Do it over and over again if you need the jewelry. But if you're going to be tanking in a trial and you're off tanking, you're more than likely going to be running Ebon and Alkosh. So just keep that in mind. But it is nice to have Ebon jewelry just in case you need to run Ebon and Torugs or something like that. Which I had to do on Cloud Res. +3 our first time going in there. Basically what Ebon does, the 4-piece set and down is actually pretty nice. You know, healing takens, you know, nice, whatever. But the max health ×2 is really nice, and ×3. But the 5th-piece set, increase your maximum health by 1100 for you and up to 11 other group members within 28 meters of you. So in a trial, you have 12 people. So of course yourself and 11 other people, that is the rest of the group if they're within 28 meters, which is about the way about the length of orbs, energy orbs. Throw an energy orb, that's about how long or how far Ebon is going to reach. So this is a nice set. It does help out quite a bit for those squishier or lower health DPS. So Ebon is super nice. I do have sturdy here, but you know, it'd be nice to have, you know, all sturdy and then chest and legs infused to get that little bit more stam, because with Ebon you don't really need to put any max health on there, you know, but whatever. The next set we're going to be looking at, and this is the last set that you really should farm. And you really don't even have to really farm this set. You can farm it from East March, or you can buy it from a guild trader, which is Dragon. Basically, what Dragon does gives you some magic recovery, which is nice, some healing taken, whatever, max health, which is nice, and then reduce the cost of your ultimate abilities by 15%. So that is super nice. So if you don't have Alkosh, run Torugs and Dragon. You know, if you have Ebon but you don't have Alkosh, Ebon, Dragon. You know what I mean? You can use Dragon as a substitute for a set that you don't have. There literally is no excuse not to have Torug's Pact. Anybody in your Trials Guild should be willing to make it and help you out. Let alone if you have a trade guild or something like that, or even a social guild. I know a lot of people can't obtain Alkosh. You can do VMAL on normal and try and get the jewelry and stuff, and the weapons are extremely a pain in the ass to get, especially the shield. Trust me, I know they're a pain in the ass. I've had to farm them numerous times. So there's no point not to have Torugs at least on your body, and then you could pretty much buy Dragon, you know, jewelry and weapons. Pretty decent. And then eventually, you know, once you hit Alkosh, you can kind of replace it, or, you know, whatever. Now the next set we're going to be talking about is, okay, I don't have it. Oh yeah, I should actually have it. Should be Powerful Assault. Now this is a medium set, and the only time I really run this set is either going to be on V-Maul or one of the Craglorn trials where you don't really need Ebon. And you would mix this one with Alkosh or Ebon or Hearsings or something like that, or Worm, or whatever you have more of. As far as DPS goes, I started naming off a bunch of different sets right there. Don't worry about it. You don't really have to farm with those. But Powerful Assault, you can either purchase this from Imperial sewers or try and find some on the guild traders. They do come in weapon jewelry and of course medium armor, like I said. So ×2 gives you max health, ×3 max dam, ×4 weapon damage. All those are kind of good, whatever. Fifth piece, when you cast an assault ability, you increase the weapon and spell damage of up to 4 friendly targets within 10 meters by 157 for 15 seconds. Now, of course, you can gold this out to kind of increase that, but if I remember right, it's been a long time since I used Powerful Assault. That's why this is more or less on your honorary mention, because you really don't use it too much, and if you do use it, it's very, very rare when you do. So yeah, Powerful Assault, the only time I've really used this is in V-Maul and any of the Craglorn trials, and then even then, most of the time I'm running Ebon and Alkosh or something like that. But this is a nice set that you could acquire. You don't have to, but if you do wear this set, you're probably going to wear Alkosh, so obviously you could, purchase the whatchamacallit, the armor pieces. Of course, in the assault tree, vigor is one that you would choose, and you would probably use echoing just because the meter of it is so much wider than this one. So it's 15 meters, and this one's 10 meters. So it gives you that little bit extra to hit, try and hit some of the enemies, or excuse me, group members. It also works with rapids. It works with Warhorn. It works with caltrops, and it works with magic. That any one of these skills you can put on your bar and activate Powerful Assault. Okay, so here comes on to some more honorary mentions. Beckoning Steel. Now, the only time that I've ever used this is in VHoF on the first boss. Depends. And now this only depends on how you do your strat. So the strat that we're doing, if you've been watching on Twitch, you see we do the speed strat. So basically everybody's stacked at the entrance and we just DPS one boss. We have the tank on the outside with the other boss. And then once, let's say Negatrix dies, then then the other tank brings in Positrix quickly, and then we just nuke both bosses. So if you're there watching on Twitch, you've seen this strategy more than enough. Now, if you do it the way we're all DPS in the center, it's kind of pointless to run this set. But if you do it to where you split up in the groups, 6 on this side, six on Positrix, 6 on Negatrix, and you guys just DPS the bosses down, you could put this set on. It wouldn't be too bad. It would negate some projectiles that are getting thrown at your group members, but it's kind of up to you. Obviously, let's go over what it does. Gives you a little bit of spell resistance, which is nice. Max health and some more spell resistance. It's not bad, but it kind of sucks because the projectiles getting lodged at you are poison damage, so it doesn't really do anything for you. So the spell resistance doesn't really do anything for you too much because you're taking it's basically a physical damage. But the 5-piece set, basically what happens is you have a 40% chance to intercept any projectile cast on an ally within 5 meters of you. And 5 meters is actually a pretty big radius. Let me see if I can tell you. Here you go. This is as big as this right here. So that's about 5 meters. And as long as you stay within, this range, you could be here and they could be way on this other side and you would still, potentially get a chance at getting hit by you know, by something. Where it's a pretty nice set. You can get it from Cyrodiil and Velastris, Elite Gear Vendor. You can get it in the Rewards of the Worthy, and you can get it for jewelry, weapons, and of course in heavy armor. You would want all sturdy because in that fight you're more than likely going to be blocking the entire time. Infused on chest and legs. I just went sturdy because in that fight I do tend to block more than I should, and that's why I went with extra sturdy pieces. Now, another set that you honorary mention. Actually, it's going to be in my bank somewhere. Reactive Armour. Now, this is another honorary mention. It comes from Imperial Sewers, so you can, you know, purchase it that way. It is in weapons, jewelry, and in heavy armor. Basically, what Reactive does. Gives you some max stam recovery, max health, which are all kind of nice. Max stam, it's whatever. While you are affected by a disabling effect, so anything that basically stuns you, such as the curse, or excuse me, not the curse, the one ability from the Sorks. If you get hit by that, I forget what it's called, but it like CCs you, kind of like knocks you and puts you on one knee. That's basically a disabling effect. On VHOF, the second boss, when the main boss goes and does the shades, he basically disables you where you can't do anything. That's a disabling effect. That's what that is. Um, so that's what that means. So anytime you're like that, your damage taken is reduced by 35%, which is a lot. It's a lot of reduction in damage. It'll save you from a lot of one-shot mechanics for sure. So that's why this is kind of on the honorary mentions tab. And that's going to be pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and double check and just kind of see what other sets for trials that I can think of. And I honestly can't think of really any other sets that um, you would be running in any trial that, you know, would help you out, you know, a tremendous amount. Tremendous amount. Because the whole reason you're running certain sets in a trial is to help your group DPS either by buffing them or debuffing the boss. That is basically the whole reason you're there, and to hold whatever mobs in one spot. So there's really no other sets that I can truly think of that is going to help you out too much. Also, you know what? I did forget to mention Thor Vacanze. I don't know why it just slipped my mind. This is a really good set for a bunch of trash. Thor Vacanze, basically what it does, gives you max health, which is nice, but whenever you take damage from a nearby enemy, you basically have like this growing pool underneath you, and it's going to be green. I'm sure you've seen it in PvP or at the very least in a big group, or have seen it at some point. And basically what it does, it has a growing green pool underneath you, and enemies in it will take a little bit of damage, and then they're afflicted by minor maim and minor defile. Minor maim is pretty much it, because when you have a bunch of ads coming at you, minor maim is kind of nice. It's kind of nice to have Thor Vacanze on because they all are afflicted by that. And minor maim, what it does is it reduces the damage done by them by 15%. For 12 seconds. So that's why this is another honorary mention. I really would only use this set and probably Sanctum, the first ad pools in Hellraw. You know, basically where there's a bunch of ads. That's really where I would see that going into effect. Well, this video actually was a little bit longer than I thought it was going to be, but I hoped that this video has, you know, gave you some insight on if you wanted to become a tank, on what sets you need to look at, and what sets you should be farming for and stuff like that, along with monster sets. Again, there's only 4 sets, and I'll go ahead and repeat those again. It is going to be Torug's Pact, Alkosh, Ebon, and Dragon. I'll list those down below. I'll list all these sets down below along with the monster sets. And the monster sets, again, will be Lord Warden, Earthgore, and Bloodspawn. And then, of course, those honorary mentions. So again, hopefully this video helped, and yeah, we'll see you in the next video.